Hello learners, welcome. This is Biology Form 3. My name is Mr. Moniki from Anesta, and we will be studying the topic of reproduction in plants and animals. So to begin with, we will first of all define what is reproduction, and this is the process by which organisms give rise to new members of their own species, which resemble their parents. What does that mean? That their own species, they must be, if they are, we are talking about cattle, they are of their own species, sheep, they are of their own species, maize of their own species. When they resemble each other, then we have said that reproduction has taken place. Now, basically, learners, there are two types of reproduction. Number one, we have sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? This is the fusion of female and male gametes. This is the fusion of male and female gametes. We'll be looking at that in our next subtopic. Number two, we have asexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? It is the process by which mature organisms give rise to new offsprings from the same organism, however, without the fusion of what? Gametes. Without the fusion of gametes. Now, these mature individuals, we have different types of asexual reproduction, which will be taught in another lesson, but basically in passing we have binary fission. We have spore formation in rhizophores. Those are examples of asexual reproduction. But in the interest of time, we will limit ourselves in cell division for today. So what is the importance of reproduction? Number one, procreation. Procreation. Now, procreation is important because it helps organisms that they may be able to survive and prevent extinction. So when organisms reproduce, it prevents them from becoming what? Extinct. Again, one of the importance is prevent extinction of a species. Number two, for quality improvement. This is brought about by what? The mixing of genetic material. As we shall be able to see in mitosis, whereby cell division takes place, we shall be able to see that there is the mixing of genetic materials, especially in meiosis, where there is what is called crossing over of genes. So this is what brings about what? Variation. And these variations, they become important tools for the quality improvement of offspring. This is now better dealt with in genetics in Form 4. But you need to understand that the variations that are brought about by the crossing of this genetic material bring about what? The improvement of the quality of the offspring. Now, in this class, we shall look at what is cell division, and then we shall look at one type of cell division, which is basically called mitosis. Now, cell division, this is a process by which cells are formed from pre-existing cells. So we have cells, and then they divide and give rise to new cells. That is what is called cell division. Now, you need to understand that life in all living things, they begin as a single cell. All living things, be it plants, be it animals, be it every species, it can be a spore or a zygote. Now, these cells, they have to divide, and this type of division, it is what now gives rise to new cells, which now make up an individual. Now, the cell division always starts with a what? A nucleus. So the first thing to divide in a cell, if you have a cell, inside the cell we have what? A nucleus. We have the cytoplasm. We have the organelles. So, the first part of the cell to divide is always the nucleus. So it divides into two. And what is that divides inside the nucleus? It is the chromosome. So it is the chromosome that usually divides, and then later on the cytoplasm divides. Again, during cell division, the first part of the cell to divide is what? The nucleus. And inside the nucleus, what are you talking about? It is specifically the chromosome. And this chromosome, after it divides, then the cytoplasm can do what? Divide. And then we can say that cell division has taken place. Now, Lana, we want to look at chromosomes. We want to look at chromosomes because at the center of cell division, at the center of reproduction, lies the chromosome. So, what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are basically microscopic thread-like structures. Again, chromosomes are microscopic thread-like structures within the nucleus of a cell. The chromosomes are microscopic, thread-like structures that are located within the nucleus of the cell. And the importance of these chromosomes is that they carry genetic information. Genetic information. Now, these chromosomes, when they are enlarged, they carry some things that are called genes. Genes. Now, when you go to the topic of genetics in form 4, you will be taught about these genes and that they are located on specific positions. So, I have drawn an example of a chromosome here. And this chromosome, when you look at it, at some specific position, which are called locus, specific position called locus, you have what is called the genes. So these genes are located on specific positions, as I have illustrated. And on this specific position, when you look at the gene, when this gene is looked at with very powerful microscope, it is recognized that these genes are always in a chemical form that is known as deoxyribonucleic acid. That is what is referred to as DNA. But remember, in biology, we don't talk about short form. So whenever you are writing this, remember to write it in full: deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is a chemical in which genes occur. And these chemicals are the ones that carry what? Hereditary information from the parent to the offspring. From the parent to the offspring. So basically, this is an example of a chromosome. So when a chromosome is looked at, it has two main parts. It has two main parts, and these two parts are called sister chromatids. Sister chromatids. We have this one and this one here. They are referred to as sister chromatids, which are joined at the center, which is referred as centromere. So the centromere is the center where the two sister chromatids are found. The two sister chromatids are found, and they are joined by what? The centromere. So, Lana, so far we have talked about the structure of the chromosome. And this chromosome now is the one that is basically inside the nucleus. And there can never be cell division without the talking of the chromosome. So basically now we want to move on and talk about one of the types of cell division, which is called mitosis. So basically we have two types of cell division. One is called meiosis, another one is called mitosis. But for the interest of time, we shall limit ourselves on the first type of cell division, which is called mitosis. Again, there are two types of cell division. One is called mitosis, and two, it is called meiosis. So we shall look at this time. We shall look at mitosis. So we want to focus here on this mitosis. Basically, mitosis takes place in five main stages. But the first one is a resting phase, although it is also one of the phases. So there is one of the phases of mitosis. Again, mitosis is one of the stages of what? Cell division. And in mitosis, the cells basically divide, and when they divide, they give rise to the same number of chromosomes as the parent. So if the parent had 46 chromosomes, after mitosis, the offspring will also have 46 chromosomes. You need to understand that. Again, that I've talked about chromosomes here. I've given the structure of the chromosome. They have two chromatids joined at the centromere, and you need to understand that there is a fixed number of chromosomes in living organisms. For example, in human body, we say we have what? 46 chromosomes. In human body, we have 46 chromosomes. And these chromosomes occur in pairs. They occur in pairs. And they are called homologous chromosomes. So in every cell, you don't find one chromosome like this. You still find another chromosome like it, just next to it. Just next to it. And these two are called homologous chromosomes. They occur in pairs. And you need to understand that after cell division, the number of the chromosomes may be the same. And that is where we have mitosis, or maybe half, like the parent. That is now called meiosis. But I've said we are going to look at mitosis. So in this type of cell division, each cell divides into two daughter cells, and they have the same number of chromosomes as the parent. Now, I need to let you know that there are 5 main stages or phases of mitosis. So stages of mitosis. Stages of mitosis. So, Lana, I want you to go with me to these stages of mitosis. The first one is called interphase. Interphase. Number 2, we have prophase. Prophase. Number 3, we have metaphase. Metaphase. Number 4, we have interphase. Number 4, we have interphase. Number 5, we have what is called telophase. So today we shall look at these 5 stages, which is the basics of our study today. So the first one is called interphase. So you can make your own song or your own way of remembering. For example, you can say, I promise myself, maybe something like a trophy or something like that. So, beloved students, I want you to look at this, the 5 stages again: interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Those are the 5 stages of cell division in mitosis. So we are going to begin with interphase. Interphase. And I have a description here of what happens at interphase. Now, interphase is what? It is a resting state. So not many things happen at the interphase. It's a resting phase. So what happens during interphase? Number 1, there is energy production. Remember, cell division, like all other processes, require what? Energy. They require energy. So this is where energy is produced in the first phase called interphase. So it is the production of energy. Number 2, the duplication of organelles. So organelles have been to be multiplied so that the organelles that are in the parents can now be duplicated to the what? To the offspring. So duplication of organelles. Number 3, the organelles or the DNA copies itself. That is what is called replication. So there are 3 main things that happen here. Number 1, the cell is in a resting place, but 3 main activities occur. Number 1, energy production. So there is production of energy which is necessary for the whole process of what? Cell division. Number 2, the organelles increase in number. Why do they increase in number? Because the parent has to give some organelles to the offspring. So there is increase in the number of what? Organelles. Number 3, the DNA copies itself. Remember, DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. This is the gene from the parent. It has to go to the what? To the offspring through DNA replication. Good. Second phase, prophase. This is where the what? The chromosome become visible. Usually, the chromosomes are not visible, but the chromosomes are always in some thread structures called what? Chromatin. Usually, they are in a thread-like structures called chromatin. But during cell division, they weaken and they also become what? Visible. And also the nuclear membrane that surrounds the nucleus will break down so that these materials can be suspended within the cytoplasm. So this is what is called prophase. This is the second phase. Number 3, learner, is the metaphase. Metaphase. And I want you to remember, the most important thing when you are asked an exam and you see the chromosomes arrive at the center, this is the stage called metaphase. Ever, the chromosomes will arrive at the center during the cell division in the stage of metaphase. Again, I say, interphase is a resting phase, energy is produced, organelles increase. When you come to prophase, here The organelles are not visible. They are in some red structures called chromatin. But now when you come to prophase, the chromatin they weaken and they become visible. Number 3, the metaphase stage, the chromosomes are always at the what? At the center. The chromosomes are at the center. And then the other stage, anaphase, this is where now the spindle fibers, these are the spindle fibers, they attach themselves at the corner, which is now called the centrioles. The centrioles. The spindle fibers, they shorten, they weaken, and they pull. They pull, as you can see. There are some very thin lines here. They pull these chromatins. They pull the chromatins to their poles. This is where now cell division actually takes place. So they shorten and they pull the chromatins to their poles. And then the third phase, which is called telophase. This is where now the daughter cells divide into two. In plants, there is a plate that is formed between the two, and they divide. However, in animals, it is the division of the cytoplasm, which is called cytokinesis. Cytokinesis. This is where the cell, the cytoplasm divides. Cytokinesis. So basically, learners, those are the five main phases that are found in mitosis. So again, I will pass you through again these 5 stages. I'll take you through again the 5 stages so that you can be conversant with the 5 stages of mitosis. Again, I say they are grouped into 5: interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. I say, as a learner, you have the responsibility. You can choose to sing your own song, or you can say anything that can help you to remember them. So I want to take through what happens in the 4 of them. Very fast, as we continue to wind up, interphase, I've said this is a lasting phase. Lasting phase. However, I've said in the interphase learner, number 1, energy is produced. Energy is produced in the interphase. I've also said replication of organelles. Number 3 learner, I have said there is now the duplication of DNA. The DNA copies itself. That is what is called replication. So I want you to understand again that the first phase, this is where energy is built up, and this energy is the one that is responsible for what? For cell division. Again, the replication of they increase in number. Why do they increase in number? Because the parent is going to share the organelles to the offspring. And number 3, I've said the DNA will replicate itself, so that the DNA of the parent can be copied to the DNA of the offspring. And that is why you find that the parent's DNA is always the same as the offspring DNA. That is why in Form 4 you'll be taught that one of the application of this is found in genetic counseling and also to solve disputes. When the father of a child says, "I'm not the father," then they will take the DNA and they will compare the DNA of the child and the DNA of the what? The father. So that if they are the same, then they can say that the two are duplicates. That is the father or that is the son. That is why it is a prime duplication. Number 2, rather, I have said prophase. And I have said in the interphase, the chromosomes are not visible, but they are always in some thread-like structures called what? Called chromatin. But now when it comes to prophase, now the chromosomes do what? Weaken. The chromosome weaken. And when they weaken, they become what? Visible. That is why now you can be able to see them as with 2 chromatin using what? A powerful microscope. They can be seen with a powerful microscope. So, metaphase, I've said, one of the main things that happen in the metaphase is what? They align at the equator. The chromosomes align at the equator. So as you can see here, you see them, they are aligned at the equator in a straight line along the equator. And then I've said also, during this stage, the nuclear membrane is not seen. It has disappeared. It is not there. So the chromosomes they are just suspended within the what? The cytoplasm. And then the anaphase. The anaphase. The anaphase, what happens? The chromatids will be pulled to the opposite poles. The chromatids will be pulled to the opposite space. And what causes this? It is caused by what? The shortening. The shortening of the speed of fibers. So the speed of fibers shorten, they weaken, and they pull the chromatids in the opposite direction. And that is what causes what? Cell division. That is what causes cell division. So in the telophase, so these chromatids, when they reach the poles, these chromatids, they now change and they become the chromosomes. Remember, they are made up of two chromatids, but they are pulled. One is pulled to this side, the other one is pulled to this side. So when it comes to this side as a chromatid, and the other one as a chromatid, they now change and they become individual chromosomes. They change and become individual chromosomes. So you see, the one that stands on this side, a nuclear membrane is formed around it. The one that goes on this side, a nuclear membrane is formed on that side, and it becomes a new cell. It becomes a new cell. And then finally, after telophase, this is where now the two cells become independent. One, in the plants, a part is formed around the cell, and it divides into two. But in animals, it is what I've said is called cytokinesis. The cytoplasm divides into what? Into two. So basically, that is what is the stage of cell division, and that is what happens during mitosis. So in conclusion, I want you to look at this question. What is the importance? What is the importance of mitosis in living organisms? I want to look at that question again. What is the importance of mitosis in living organisms? I repeat again, what is the importance of mitosis in living organisms? So that one, when you look at it, it will help you to summarize this topic. And that is the end of our lesson today. I want to say thank you so much. Keep revising, stay safe, and may God bless you as you look into this topic. Thank you so much.